Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and today's video is 5 things to expect when football returns, when Manchester United return. To be precise, 5 things to expect when Manchester United play Spurs. If all goes to plan, Manchester United will play Spurs in about 100 hours time when this video goes up. It'll be on Friday and hopefully that game will still go ahead. It looks like it is going to go ahead. So I'm going to predict 5 things that I expect to happen in that game. Now, if you like this video and you want me to make this a series, so like next week, a few days before the Sheffield United game, you want me to do 5 things to expect versus Sheffield United, let me know by hitting that like button, subscribing down below, and commenting if you want me to make this a regular series of 5 things to expect. Now, I know it's going to be really hard to predict and expect things more than ever right now because there's been such a long break and it's so unpredictable how the season's going to finish. It's almost like a complete new season. But I just thought it'd be a bit fun to make. Like, the season's going to be crazy. It's almost like a new season. Norwich could go on like a 9-game winning streak and not get relegated. Arsenal could get relegated. I mean, that would be bloody brilliant. But like, Arsenal generally could get relegated, you know. It's kind of like the World Cup. Lots of games being played in a 6-week period. And as we've seen with lots of World Cups, the best team don't always win. I mean, Germany in the last World Cup, Spain, the amount of World Cups England's underperformed in. So you never even know, Liverpool could just not get a win in their remaining games. Very unlikely, but it is really hard to predict. But I'm going to get right into it. 5 things to expect versus Spurs, so like, subscribe, let's get into it. Now, first things first, I expect Spurs to play into Manchester United's hands. So you're probably thinking it's Jose, he's the tactical genius, he's going to tactically outclass Ole. And I think tactical-wise, you know, Jose is a better manager than Ole. However, Spurs are below us in the table, and they don't have the best defence. Look at Spurs' fullbacks are pretty crap. The defenders are good, but they're ageing. I mean, Davis and Sanchez looks like a really good player, but like Vertonghen and Adebayor, they're ageing. And obviously Mourinho likes to build his team on the defence. And obviously, you know, he hasn't had a window to bring in the defenders he wants, which gives Mourinho a bit of a disadvantage. And we know he likes to play really defensively. However, Spurs need to win this just as much as we need to win this. If Spurs want any chance of top 4, they have to win. They have to attack us. And we know with Manchester United this season, if a team comes and attacks us, it always plays into our hands. You know, we normally take advantage of that. And as much as Mourinho is a defensive manager, I don't think he has a strong enough defence, and I think he needs to win where he actually might have to come and attack us, and that will just play into our hands, because as soon as a team comes and attacks us, we can counter-attack them with our pace. We know with Manchester United this season have actually been better against teams that have attacked us. Norwich are a bottom level team, but they came and attacked us, which played into our hands where we did so well against Norwich. Manchester City, we beat them 3 times this season because they wanted to win and attack us. And if a team comes to Manchester United and they want to win, we end up winning that game in most cases. Because when a team attacks us, when a team wants to score, it plays into our hands. And I do think that Jose Mourinho will have to win. I think he wants to win. I don't think he'll settle for a draw. I think he'll want to score goals and he'll want to win. And another thing is, Harry Kane is back. But is it me, or when Harry Kane comes back from injury, it always takes him 2 or 3 games to settle in. He never scores right away, like with the Champions League final. Like, you know, he's always quite slow in August, which is proven in the past. I don't know, I don't think Harry Kane coming back will be that big an advantage. I can't see Harry Kane coming back and scoring a hat-trick. Could be wrong, let's hope I'm not wrong. Now, the next thing to expect is that the first goal is going to be super important. I think there's been such a long break, and I think scoring that first goal is going to give a big confidence boost. I think Manchester United are on momentum, a good confidence boost, but there's been a very long break. 11 games unbeaten, we had momentum, we had confidence boost, but that momentum's kind of been broken because of such a long break. Now, when Manchester United played Chelsea, the first game of the season back, we won 4-0, but I don't think 4-0 really told the story. Chelsea were shocking in the second half. We were all over them in the second half, but the first half you could even argue Chelsea were the better team. Chelsea were really good, they hit the post twice, they came right at us, and then Marcus Rashford won a penalty in which he scored, and we took the lead 1-0 up about half an hour into the game. And after we took that 1-0 lead, we were a completely different team. When we started the game against Chelsea, first game back of the season under Ole, we were quite shaky, quite nervous. As soon as we scored that goal, we were a whole new team. It just, we weren't as nervous and as shaky. And I think with Tottenham, like, I know we've got lots of confidence and stuff, but I think because we haven't played in so long, there will be a little bit of nerves. And obviously we have like the least experienced squad in the league. We have like the least experienced manager in the league. So I'm not even surprised there will be nerves. So I think scoring the first goal will give us a boost. And if Manchester United score the first goal, I think we will win. It's going to give us a massive advantage in confidence. But also with Manchester United, obviously I know we've got the likes of Bruno Fernandes in. The team's matured a bit more. We've got characters like Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, Scott McTominay. But when we are behind, we seem to struggle most. If Tottenham score first, we'll just seem to get all nervous and stuff. Obviously that could change, but throughout the season, I think when Manchester United are losing, that's when they struggle the most. So I think the first goal would just be really important in terms of confidence. And I think, you know, if Tottenham score first, then they can just sit back and defend deep, which again, we've struggled most when a team sat back deep against us. Obviously with the likes of Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba's creativity, it can help break them down. But I think we need to score first, because then Tottenham will have to come and attack us and score, which means we can score another goal, and I think it will play into our hands really well if we score first. And I think the first goal is really important in the game. Now the third thing to expect is Manchester United to play their strongest lineup for the first time. With lots of injuries, with Bruno Fernandes coming in, we haven't actually played Bruno, Pogba and Rashford in the same team. And I think that we will see Manchester United's strongest lineup for the first time this season. I think that Marcus Rashford will start. I'm not so sure if Paul Pogba will start, because obviously Fred and Matic were so good together before the break. We were 11 games unbeaten, so maybe Pogba will come on as a sub. But I do think we'll see Bruno Fernandes play with Marcus Rashford and Paul Pogba for the first time and start to see what we're trying to build. We haven't seen Bruno and Pogba play together. We haven't seen Bruno and Rashford play together. And what Bruno's done to Martial, I think he'll even improve Rashford. Rashford looked fire in the friendlies as well. So I think it's just going to be really exciting to see like the Manchester United strongest squad maybe play together. I do think Rashford will start. I'm not 100% sure if Pogba will start, but it'll just be nice to see them all play together, see what we're trying to build off. The fourth thing to expect is player growth. And I know what you're thinking, but they haven't played in 3 months. How can they grow? We have the youngest squad in the league. On average, we have the youngest squad in the league. Our players are not very experienced. And as time goes on, they have more time to gel with the squad, get used to the league, they get better. And I feel like players like Dan James will really benefit from this break. Now, Dan James, he came to the Premier League. He was brilliant. He was on fire the first few games. Then he kind of got worn out, overplayed. And then we had that winter break. And then he came back after that winter break in the last 4 or 5 games before obviously the season was ended due to the pandemic. Dan James was on fire. He scored versus last. He was brilliant in the Manchester derby. You know, he looked refreshed. He looked energised. I think he's now used to the Premier League. I think he's got that season to adapt to the Premier League, get used to it. And I can see Dan James coming back and just being really energised, really solid. Like, I think Dan James would be like the start of the season Dan James again. I can see him with his energy. Like, he wants to play, he wants to score. I don't know, I think this will be really good for players like Dan James. Even Brandon Williams, Mason Greenwood, they've been pretty good, but it's almost like they've had a season under their belt of experience. And this is almost like a second season or a tournament. And I think it'll be really positive for a lot of our young players. You know, with Fred, you know, he took a season to adapt, and then this season he's been fire. This could be Dan James' this season to adapt, and he's just going to be fire when football returns. Obviously, the season hasn't finished, but I think he's had that time to adapt and gel with the squad. Now, the fifth and final thing is I think every player is going to want to prove a point. I think every player at Manchester United right now wants to play. Paul Pogba, he might want to be at Real Madrid, but he wants to play. I think us being 11 games unbeaten, it's going to be hard to break into the squad, and I think there's such a positive vibe around Manchester United right now. It's actually been one of the most positives times to be a Manchester United fan over the last 2 years, because Bruno came in and he gave a lift. And I think every player at the club wants to break into that starting 11. I mean, McTominay, before he got injured around Christmas time, he was probably up for Player of the Season. He got 2 Player of the Month awards back to back. He was brilliant. He was solid, McTominay. But then when he was injured, Matic and Fred were so good that he couldn't break into the squad. It's like Matic, Fred, McTominay have all been really good, and Pogba's got to break into that squad. Like, every player is trying to play the best they can to keep their place in the squad, and every player was playing well before the break. It really was like some positive energy, some positive vibe, and I think like Wan-Bissaka, he's got Dalot really wants to break in, you know, Williams and Shaw have got that battle, the midfield have got that battle. I think every player is going to want to play well, prove a point and play for the team, which again just gives a much better atmosphere at the club. And Ollie, I think every player at the club right now wants to play for Ollie. I think since Bruno Fernandes has come in, the whole squad spirit has been lifted, and I just expect there's a lot of competition for places in defence and midfield, not so much in attack, but I feel like every player that is here wants to play. They're desperate to play football, and I think that's just going to boost the team as a whole. Now, thank you for watching this video. That's 5 things to expect versus Spurs. Let me know in the comments section down below if you want me to make this a series. I can do it next week against Sheffield United. Thank you for watching. If you have not already, please hit that like button. Subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football, and I'll see you next time.